waar de camera nu opgericht wordt, achter de heuvels, ligt de Pacific. Route 101.
Kijk niet hoor.
Route 101. Stapt bij Santa Barbara. Pacific. Tentje zitten we koffie te drinken. Nu krijgen we de pier. En de bekende strandhuisjes. En daar zitten we dan. Was te laat. Tante Pelly! Nog net op het laatste op bezoek gekomen.
That wonderful road that you just came up, and otherwise the Hearsch Corporation still does ranch all this territory, and out of the 275,000 acres that it once became, there's about 80,000 left, somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000, 70 something or 80 something, but when you get up in thousands, a few acres here and there. Right out there you see the lovely line in that part of the rock out there, Jamie's office. And there's a little light going around right next to it. That's been a navigational aid for over 100 years on this boat. And then that long strip that you see down at the base of the valley here, it starts way off to your right and goes down there. That's the landing strip, the private landing strip of the Hearsch Corporation and family. So they can land their planes there. If you want to land your plane there, you're in trouble. You have to clear it with somebody because it is a private landing strip. Then that wonderful thing that you see winding around the mountain, that's a road you just came up. And it is the original road, pretty much the same as when Mr. Hearsch began, and even worse on them. Well, as you came around those last few curves, did you notice right across the way, do you see those columns with the cross beams? Did you notice those as we came up? That was a bridle path that Mr. Hearsch made for his guests. It's a horseshoe shaped thing of between a mile and a half. And then, if that didn't make you happy, there were telephones along the way. And you could get off and call the castle and say, I don't like horses, they don't smell nice. Then you come out and pick up the horse, bring you back in a car. That's the way it was for the guests when Mr. Hearsch was here. I've not had that much fun. If you happen to like a vocal proposal and get also we put all of these things fixed properly in 1869, the miners discovered gold out there. The This is Mr. Hearsch's birthday, the 29th of April. So everyone's watching your happy birthday on the Paramount. Well, the temple then was a temple kit, and it was put together by an archaeologist who purchased many Roman. Now that took some doing, but he had electric lights, he had hot and cold running water up here, and the filter system, and most of it was done by his little architect, Julia Morgan, the first woman ever to graduate from Cal Berkeley with a civil engineer's degree, and then she went to Paris and got her architect's degree. She was the first woman ever to be registered in California as an architect. And so he hired her. She did the filter system for him. She did the gravity flow system. She designed the exteriors, the interiors. She designed the grounds. She was his landscape architect and helped him place the furniture. Other than that, she wasn't very busy. This hilltop was called Camp Hill because in the early years when Mr. Hearsch first bought it, George Hearsch, he used to bring his family down here to camp. Now it's very important for you to know how to camp. So I'm going to give you this absolutely free lesson in camping. This was Camp Hill, and Mr. Hearsch, William Randolph Hearsch, was the only son of rich parents. Very smart move. There's first lesson. Second lesson, this one is in camping purely. You bring a circus tent down, put down a wooden floor, some Persian rugs on top of the wooden floor, have the servants come down, bring the crystal, the china, and the silver, and that's camping. When the two wanders through, you'll encounter your tour map. If you just stay on those and keep a steady pace, what you'll be seeing, folks, is in the morning ceilings. They were done in plaster there. The molds were made right here. If you see gold, it is gold. If you see gold, it is gold, or real gold. That's the real gold. Look around. I'll meet you in front. I'll lead you off and then meet you in front because the rooms are too small for me to tell you about them individually. I enjoyed that.
Nice tour.
Tomorrow morning I'll sound like that's the last 2 years of February. Man-made art object on the hill, 3,500 years old. She's made of a diorite, carved from a diorite, a very hard, igneous rock. And her name is Sekhmet. She was an antique that King Tut was wandering here, and Moses, so that calls her. And she was the goddess of the Nile. And when the Nile is good in Egypt, everything goes real well. When the Nile is out of hand, things are very bad. So being goddess of the Nile, she was in charge of all the Egypt that's going on. That's maintenance. It's we have a deal with the state of California and the Hearsch Corporation have made an arrangement. This is now a memorial to William Randolph Hearsch, and so we cannot complete anything, even though the blueprints are available. We can just restore and maintain. And so that North Tower is now going through a period, it's been a long time, many months since that's been up there. When they complete, they'll go over to the south tower and do the same thing over there. And they're doing the grout between the tiles there, and any of that poured stone that is looking bad, they've made forms so that they can reproduce that exactly. And they were forged in Belgium, in Tournai, Belgium, in the 20s, and placed up there. There are 18 bells in each tower. Below that, where you see the arches, there's a bedroom in each of the towers, linked by a sitting room. There are 117 rooms in this building, 14 sitting rooms and 37 bedrooms, 41 fireplaces, 41 baths. So it's one kitchen, one dining room, one movie theater, whatever. So Hearst would hang out. And Mr. Hearst's schedule for the day, he'd go to bed at 3 in the morning, get up at noon, work until about 8 o'clock at night, and then he'd meet with his guests. So if you were a guest here, the domestics would take care of you, and you could amuse yourself, and very often you wouldn't see him until about 8 o'clock at night. And then he'd come down. When you have 94 businesses, 26 newspapers, 15 magazines, 10 radio stations, and so forth, it keeps you on your toes. So he wasn't really to be disturbed up there. He had corporate meetings, he had family up there, and so you were forbidden that particular territory. Well, the front of the castle, which looks like it's block on block, is not block on block at all. Julia Morgan, among her other talents, was one of the world's foremost experts on earthquakes. And she said, you just simply cannot do block on block in California. So the whole castle is reinforced poured concrete. And what we're looking at in front here is 2.5 or 3-inch slabs of Utah limestone that's scored to look like block on block. Those are just lines put in there. And the front of the castle, again, is like the front of that, of the guest house. Those are all 13th, 14th, and 15th century limestone carvings that you see.
Ja, loop maar naar binnen. Loop maar naar binnen.
We just came from the assembly room, and when you're rich, I guess you call it an assembly room, when you're poor, you call it the living room. It was 2,500 square feet, so I guess that's pretty much poorer, richer than I'd ever be. This is called a refectory, and that means monastic dining hall, and this is what it is. As I said, the monks used to have them pushed against the wall. They sat on these hard benches. Well, if you were a monk, you often took a vow of silence. It's very simple to eat your dinner and not talk to anybody with these skinny tables pushed against the wall, sitting on these hard benches. Across from each other, they had to talk to each other. He wanted everybody up here. The people he asked were the people from his newspapers and his magazines, the people who were anybody in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, he invited up here. And he always sat here. Marion Davies sat there, and the latest guests who arrived would sit right next to him. Well, Marion, this is a 1920s Brunswick billiard table back there. That's true billiards. This is pocket billiards, or pool, as we probably know it. Back here is an RCA Victor radio from the 1920s, programmed in the basement because it had very bad reception, so it was all programmed there. Wherever you had a radio, you snapped it on, whatever was programmed is what you got. The ceiling is over 600 years old, and it has to do with gaming, just like billiards.
Simeon is a state monument. But during its heyday, which spanned the roaring 20s and the fabulous 30s, it was the gathering place of the Hollywood immortals, with guests like Marie Dressler, seen here clowning with the host, William Randolph Hearst. That outfit she's wearing looks like a flea-bitten version of Touch of Me. That pretty blonde over there with the short bobbed hair is Marion Davies. Although she typified glamour on the screen, at San Simeon she joined in the fun. Marion Davies was one of the best-liked members of the motion picture colony. Beloved by everyone who knew her, she endowed many charities still in existence. That's Charlie Chaplin kidding around. The man coming out of the door at that moment was the mayor of New York City, Jimmy Walker. If these pictures seem to reflect a certain frivolity, you must remember they were taken at that wonderful carefree period in our history. The First World War had ended, and the second one was nowhere in sight. That youth on the right is Adolphe Moncu. Yes, notables from every walk of life visited San Simeon. At Paul Block, the newspaper publisher, chatting with the mayor. The fellow kneeling down in front of this group is George K. Ott, the comedian. And the attractive girl on the left in the print dress is Hedda Hunt. Standing next to Hedda is the founder of America's largest bank, ABG&M. That teenager on the right is Carol Lombard. Nothing pleased the host more than when everybody got out of doors in the afternoon to take part in some group activity. He was proud of San Simeon and eager for his guests to enjoy it to the full. Many people have the sense of acquisitive possessiveness, but William Randolph Hearst was the only man ever able to indulge it to the hilt. But it was a strange paradox that this fighting giant of journalism with all his vast collection of material wealth should also have a tender passion for the treasures of nature, flowers, trees, and animals. Yes, Mr. Hearst was a happy man at San Simeon. Whether he was conducting business with his secretary or welcoming unfamous guests like Lindsay. In town, he was very reticent about having his picture taken, but up here he seemed to have no objection. He'd even kid about it. Part of the daily routine was to move the guests to the adjoining zoo to witness the feeding of the animals. The Zoo and Game Preserve, the largest private collection in the world, was established on 2,000 San Simeon acres, protected from the guests by an 8-foot-high wire fence 10 miles long. Visitors were made aware of Mr. Hearst's tenderness toward animals when they drove up the mountainside, as they were confronted by large signs admonishing them to always drive slowly. As Hedda Hopper once said, a visit to the Hearst Ranch was a ticket to Never Never Land. Never has there been such a place, and never will we see its like again. As an animal collector, Mr. Hearst started modestly with a herd of rare, pure white fallow deer imported from Asia. Then, patriotically, he added Montana black buffalo, but had to go far afield again to gather exotic animals from all over the world. And when these animals stopped in the middle of the road, you stopped. Yes, there was hardly anything in the Bronx Zoo or any other great American collection that could not have been found at San Simeon at its peak. Before I left that day, I had to take one more shot at that main entrance. Everything seemed so much the same that I almost expected our host to come out of the door. As the time came to leave, and we started down from the Enchanted Hill, a familiar quotation came to my mind. I think it was Kipling who said, "The tumult and the shouting die, the captives and the king depart." It seems so true here at San Simeon. Long after its builder's vast newspaper chain and political influences are forgotten, he will be remembered as America's greatest art collector and the creator of San Simeon.
Well, there, folks, that makes it come alive a little bit. We're not... Well, until I built this castle.
Zien we William Randolph Hearst bij zijn laatste bezoek voordat hij doodging.
Oké,